All right. Hold on a second here. The microphone, means I'm also recording this as a podcast. So that's what I was waiting for. It was telling me it wasn't. The microphone was not working. So, okay. So do I call this Truth Bomb Tuesday? It is going to be Truth Bomb Tuesday because it is some of the truth behind some of my struggles that I have been having. And I figured what better place to talk about that than here, because I have a lot of people that I know struggle with this, not just myself. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about my story and then what brought this whole thing of me saying, like, here's 4 ways to combat a bad body image day. So let's face it, we're human, right? We sometimes feel a little less than when we look in the mirror or when we try on certain clothes or whatever it is, right? And I've been having some of those days. And in the past, those days would have brought me to shaming my body for quite some time and restricting what I ate and working out twice as hard and trying to spot train those areas that I didn't like, only to get stuck again on that roller coaster over and over and over again, to where I realized that was more unhealthy than the thoughts of bad body image or having a bad body image day. Let's face it, it happens. It happens more than some of us, myself included, would like to admit. But when you get to a point where it is affecting not just you and your thoughts, it's affecting things around you in your life, relationships and such, and how you present yourself, that is when you have to say, okay, I need to take a step back and I need to understand why I'm feeling this way, and then understand how to not let it ruin everything, right? Like, you have a bad body image day and it happens. It is what it is. We all have them. They're realistic. I mean, I'm not going to say that someone who we look at a lot of times and we say, oh, they're skinny, they look this way, I wish I looked like them. They have those struggles and things too. So let's talk about 4 ways to combat a bad body image day. Because is your body really that bad? And again, some people will judge this differently and say that I'm promoting this, that, or the other. What I'm talking about is there's a lot of mental and psychological things that go behind how we feel about our bodies and the way society jams that shit down our throats and tells us that if we're this way, we are more worthy and better. And then we have the people who say, oh, you got this way because of A, B, and C. Great topics and points of conversation. Excellent. Because it just goes to show how some people just are not open-minded enough and some don't understand other people's stories. And that's okay. We're all different, right? So 4 ways. First of all, we need to acknowledge. We need to acknowledge that we're having that bad body image day. We need to realize that those thoughts and feelings are normal and they happen and they're okay. But we like them to be few and far in between. And this is what these 4 steps are going to kind of help you with. So acknowledging it, first of all, being like, yeah, I'm having a bad day. Like, we're allowed to have those, aren't we? Little kids are allowed to have bad days. They have temper tantrums. That's how they express themselves. We have bad days and we either shut down or we just completely hate and shame our bodies. And that I don't like. But it happens. So it's like, instead of saying like, well, wait, I always do this. I say, well, how can you turn that into a positive? And some people are like, nah, nah, nah. When you're having a bad body image day, you don't even want to think positive. So that's like, how can you neutralize that? How can you slow your roll and neutralize it instead of like scrutinizing it, instead of making it everything you think about? And again, that can be very difficult. There are days that I struggle with that, but I'm acknowledging like I'm having a bad day. And sometimes it's like, just leave me be. Just leave me be. Bad day, not a bad life. Okay, step number 2. I know this sounds crazy because some people will think this is wrong, but how about sometimes we put something on and that's why we feel bad in our body because, oh, it's too tight, or we don't like the way this looks, or we don't like the way that looks. How about maybe just changing into something more comfortable? I get it. Some of us change 500 and 600 times a day and then end up wearing sweatpants. Been there, done that, and do that majority of the winter because I just like to be warm and comfortable. So stop making yourselves uncomfortable. Put something more comfortable on. Take that focus away from whatever it is that you're having concern about or focusing on that day. Because the more we think about it, the more the stories come into our mind, and the more then we go into that like shaming, hating, needing to change things, feeling like you have to just, that it's the end of the world, right? Here's number 3. Remind yourself that you are more than just your body. This is not what makes you worthy. This is not what defines you. This is not, even though this is what society is jamming down our throats and what we see on social media, I'm going there. It's fake as fuck. I'm sorry, it is. And we compare to that all the time. And comparison is the thief of joy. So just slow the roll, just like I said, right, in the first one, like slow the roll. Ask yourself, like, why, right? How can I neutralize it? But when we're reminding ourselves that we are more than our body, than the weight on the scale, than what size clothes we wear, there are so many other things that make you, you. Think about those. Accentuate those. Write them out. I had a client, she's on her mirror with these things to remind herself what makes her, her. There's so much more than just the body. I always say mind, body, spirit, but I'm talking the whole, the body as a whole, not the shape that we see in the mirror that sometimes we are so negative about. Number 4 is lean on supportive people, right? Find something to distract you, to help you when you're stuck here. Because it doesn't help when you just keep talking about it, you keep focusing on it and trying to explain why you're feeling what you feel. Sometimes we don't even freaking know. We're just having a bad freaking day. And maybe it's something we saw, something we heard, something we felt in certain places. But we need those supportive people. We need to be able to find something, whether it's a person or a thing or an activity that you do, to distract yourself. And know that these feelings are temporary. And again, they do not define you. We are allowed to have bad days. It happens. We're human. And this is just I always say this is so surface level because sometimes there's that deeper dive that has to be done so you can understand and accept these things on your level. And so many people just want to stay surface level. They want to just take that sentence and run with it. Eat less, move more, right? Try to turn a bad body image day into something positive. How? How do we do that if we don't have the tools? I've just given you 4 ways, but what are the actions that you take? How do you work on that? It's like there's that deeper dive that we have to take to get to that understanding, to understand body image and how to improve those thoughts and how to combat those feelings when they come into play. And they do come into play. I always say when, not if. We have to be realistic. They're going to happen. They're going to be there. We can either get lost in them or we can work on moving past them. And I can tell you how very easily I can get lost in them and get stuck in them and get so pissed when people ask me, well, what is it? Why? Maybe I don't fucking know why that day. Sorry, I am swearing, and that's what's happening. F-bombs, truth bombs. Maybe I don't even know why that day. Maybe there's just a lot of thoughts going on in my head that I can't convey into words. You have to allow yourself to have that day. But we can't get stuck there. And that's what happens with a lot of us. We get stuck there. So understanding how to take that deeper dive is a lot of what I work on with my clients. It's a lot of mindset. Like I just started this Mindset Madness group and holy cow, these women are amazing. They are being so honest and so raw and so vulnerable with all of their feelings around weight loss, why they're getting stuck. We're going to go over body image. We're going to go over, diets, all these things and what keeps getting us stuck. Because it's like we're allowing ourselves to stay stuck there because we go to a diet to try to undo it, and that's not what we need. There's a deeper dive, and it has to be done at a mindset level. And when you can do that, that's where that transformation happens. That's where that understanding and acceptance, especially when it comes to body image, because we have got social media barking down our backs, whatever. They're on our asses all the time about being thinner, being leaner, being smaller. Have you lost weight? You look great. Oh, look at what Adele did. Was Adele not awesome before she lost weight? Why is she called a goddess now? I think I put it in this group, and I also put it on my Instagram page because it pisses me off so much that that's so accepted by society, and it's okay. It's not okay in my book. I'm fighting it. I'm taking a stand. I'm taking a stand, and I'm putting it out there not only for us, and I say this all the time, but for that next generation. It's amazing what's out there. It's amazing what people think is acceptable. But you and only you can work through these 4 ways on how to combat having a bad body image day. And what you focus on is what's going to continue circling in your mind. So when you're having that bad day, how do you work through it? Having those steps and having that support is huge. I hope this has been something that has helped you. I hope this has been something that you're like, yep, these are 4 tips that I really could use. And if it's something you feel that needs to be shared, get out there and share it, because I'm busting up against a $72 billion industry that is just selling people false promises left and right, and it's making this part of it worse. The way we feel about our bodies, the way we feel about exercise, the way we feel about food. It's making it worse. So please share this, because the more that we can get this out there, the more that it will change people. And they'll understand what true health really means. Because it's not just, let me lose weight all the time type of thing. That sometimes really, in this group, it's like they're talking about their mental health. They're talking about their mental health because they have struggled with it for years, because there's so much stuff out there, so much information, they don't know where to start. It really does start with mindset. It really does. And understanding and accepting is what I say. That's all I have for you guys today. Have a great day, and we will chat later.